So welcome. Now, if you are working to set up your classroom for success, this is the interview for you. Brendan Tuckerman's here. He's an amazing science teacher who's worked with us at Unleashed Learning, and he's going to offer you some tips that I think you can quickly use in your classroom to ease your stress and set your students up for success. So welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. So Brendan, you've worked with us at Unleashed Learning, and we go on and on about having your own classroom. So fortunately, you have your own classroom now. What's been the benefit of having your own classroom?
Well, it's changed the way that I teach, really. I mean, before you have your own classroom, you have to run from one side of the campus to the other usually, and you tend to be on the back foot as you try to organise things. Having your own classroom allows you to be set up ready to be on the front foot for every lesson. So you have your materials available, you have your posters on the wall that are for you, you know where everything is, and more importantly, the students know where everything is as well. So you've got that advantage from the outset of the lesson, so you always feel that you're always the one who is guiding the lesson rather than being reactive.
It seems like you're almost you're in control of the ship in many ways.
Yeah, that's right. You just know where things are. I mean, if you have to change from room to room, you might not have the available materials, and all those things that can derail a lesson can happen really easily. Whereas my classroom is set up with the things that I need, so there shouldn't be a reason why that lesson gets derailed for those little tiny things that happen in every class. Yeah.
So you're set up for success. Your students are set up for success, and like one of your colleagues here a couple years ago, you seem much more present.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you don't have to think about many of those things. A lot of that stuff that you have to worry about or spend a lot of your effort thinking about are already taken care of. So I don't have to worry about pens, pencils, pieces of paper, books. They're all available in the classroom because it's mine and I know where things are.
Well, one of the things that you've done is you have used seating plans, and we spent a lot of time talking about which seating templates to use, what plans. So you've done this one. So how has creating seating charts impacted you as a teacher and also your students? What's been the benefit of seating plans?
Just like the classroom, I can't imagine it any other way. I really can't. The seating plan just allows you, again, it's about taking away a lot of that decision making that you would ordinarily have to make if you didn't have these things in place. So with the seating plan, I have put people next to each other who I know are going to work well together. I can deal with sort of low-level behavioural things by putting people next to each other, and I can help extend students who need it by getting them to work together. So it's just one of those very small things that you can do in a class to ensure that you don't have to think about lots of things in a lesson. And by the end of the class, I've got much more space to be thinking about teaching and learning than I do if I have to worry about moving people around or worrying about who's sitting next to who. I think also it's just about being on that front foot again. So when they come into the classroom, I have decided where they are, so I don't have to be quietly thinking about, is there going to be a problem between two people because of where they're sitting.
I love the word front footing. We talk a lot about being proactive rather than reactive. So you set the stage up for being really, really proactive. And also what stands out from what you're saying is the complexity of what you've thought about where people are sitting and why.
Yeah, and I think when you think about your seating plans, you need to think about it, not just about sort of behavioural, which is the one that's most present for teachers, but about who's going to work well and benefit from listening and hearing from other people. So I'll mix the seating plans up many times in a year so that people get an opportunity to sit next to people of different who have different perspectives than they do as frequently as possible. And the students are now accustomed to it, so they'll come in and they'll say, oh, today's a new seating plan, and whereas in the past when I did it infrequently they would grumble more, now it's just something that we do, and we just explain to them that you're working with someone who's going to help you learn more today.
Fantastic. It's not, and also what strikes me is not punishment. It's something about punishment or being reactive. It's actually setting everybody up for success.
That's right, and it's just framed in that way from the outset. I'm sitting you guys together and we make a little phrase at the beginning, which is about, you're sitting next to each other because that person is best designed to help you learn.
Fantastic. So we're just about out of time, but one of the things that really strikes me with this classroom is you've done something with these tables that I haven't seen before. So can you talk about, and hopefully they can see it, the color of the tables and why you did it this way?
Yeah, so there's two things. There's the color of the tables and the color of the chairs. We've got a few classrooms next to each other, so all I did was sort of gather a few resources together. But there is a black chair and a blue chair on every table, and every square has a dark table and a yellow table. The reason I do that is because I can ask the students to simply look at the colour of their chair. Are you blue chair or black chair? Raise your hand. And then I've automatically started some groupings. So I can say, blue chair, can you read the slide to black chair?
Fantastic.
Without having to have any interruption. And the tables allows me to have a little bit more flexibility with grouping. Instead of having to pull out cards or stop the lesson, I can simply say, look at the colour of the chair and the table that you're at. If you're at a yellow chair with a black table, can you find the other people who are sitting in the same chair? And I've got groups. So it was just to stop that interruption. It's all about that flow and keeping that rhythm and riding that wave as you can teach.
Riding the wave. And also what you're doing is you're maximizing weightlifting. So they're really lifting the weights because every moment matters and you've created the conditions for that to happen.
Yeah, I don't have to stop the lesson, work out some category that I can get into the group. It's already set in place for me. And I've noticed in classrooms where I've taught outside of this one, all you need is one colour chair, because you can have say the black chair and the other colour. So as long as you've got one chair that's the same in each table, it works as well.
You know, we talk about rituals and procedures. So here's a ritual and procedure that lowers your stress, maximizes effectiveness, and boosts student engagement.
Right. And all of the things we talked about today have been just lower that stress level and just allow me to focus on the teaching and getting around to the students and working.
That's what we want. So thank you. So we're going to try this. What we want to know is this. Do you use a seating plan or a seating chart of some capacity? And if you do, what are the benefits for you in your class? So drop your comments at the bottom below and grab your ultimate classroom setup guide. If you're looking for a way to set your classroom, that guide will help you do just that. So Brendan, thank you so much. I'm so inspired by this space and how you're thinking about it and using it and setting people up for success. So thank you.
Pleasure. Yeah.
And thank you all for the work you're doing for the world. We are both cheering you on from cold Melbourne today, and we'll see you next time.